So in this section, we'll be looking at some of the second topic, which is the logistics of learning how to be a software developer. I just want to share some insights on the things you need, some of the basic stuff you need, to be able to learn this trade properly and effectively. Then we talk about the computer. To learn software development, you need a computer. And if you are, let's say, in the developed world, you have access to electricity, internet, and you can buy any computer you want. If you are fortunate to be in that position, it is good to have a powerful desktop application with 2 flat screens. It's very, very essential because it cuts your learning time like 50%. If you have 2 flat screens on a powerful desktop or a powerful laptop with 2 flat, as far as you have 2 screens. And the reason why I said 2 screens, most of the books you'll be reading will likely be e-books. Most of the things will be e-books. So it's always good to have it on 1 screen, and then your development environment where you'll be typing and writing the code on another screen. So it becomes easier to, in fact, it increases your productivity by like massive 50%. There is a research supporting that. So, but if you are not fortunate to be in a position where you have 2 flat screens, and sorry, before I move over, the desktop you have, it's always advisable to have, at least from my own experience, your RAM size should be over 8 gig. Because if you are using like Visual Studio, then it could be RAM consuming somehow. So 8 gig at least is okay. But like I have one that is like 64 gig RAM. So that one I can open so many Visual Studio software that I use for my code construction. So it's always good to have like RAM size of 8 gig at least. If you can buy 16, 24, 32 gig RAM is okay. You'll be comfortable. Then 2 flat screen. And then, but if you are not in a position where you have access to 2 flat screen, then what you can do, if you have a laptop, then that is okay. Then what you will now do is all your materials, you have to print them out. And then another thing is with one laptop, you have to do a lot of typing. But if I have 2 flat screens, all I need to do is to copy. If I'm reading a book, which is usually an e-book, I don't buy hard copy books for software because I can't type. I don't like typing. I like just copying, using e-book, copying some examples and pasting and just learning. It enhances my learning. But if you don't have 2 flat screens, then you can use one. If you have a laptop, that is okay. Then you print out your material and then you do a lot of typing. But your laptop should be powerful, a bit powerful. If not, you might struggle a bit, except if you are just doing your normal front-end work where you can use and then you can use like a non-tasking IDE. Visual Studio Code, I don't know, Visual Studio Code could be okay. It might not really be as tasking as Visual Studio properly. Yeah. So then if you don't have a laptop and you don't have a computer, what will you do? The only thing I could advise you is to start by getting all these materials and reading. You might think you might not really be doing much, but if you get all these materials and you read these materials, it puts you in the mood so that once you have access to internet, then you can easily start practicalizing on the things you've read. So you can download these materials or download the transcript for this video and just watch. It impresses on your subconscious mind that these things exist. So if you don't have laptop, you don't have access to all these things, print out the materials and start reading. Yeah. So your development environment is where you type the code, that's your work environment as a software developer. And we have so many types of development environment. The two that I make use of, I've used a good number of IDEs, but the two that I constantly make use of are your Visual Studio Code. I'm a Microsoft guy. So I use mostly a Microsoft product. So you have the Visual Studio Code and Visual Studio. Visual Studio Code, I mainly use Visual Studio Code for doing front-end applications, especially React. Yeah, because React does not appear clean on my Visual Studio. Yeah, but for like, so I use my Visual Studio Code for React. Yeah, but for like things like Angular and my backend core C# is Visual Studio. In fact, Visual Studio is what I use for most of my work apart from React. So yeah, but you can choose the one that you like. Like the advice I will give, Microsoft the company kind of like has everything in one place. They have the Visual Studio Code, they have the source control and everything. So it's easier if everything is in one place for you to have. It's from my experience that I'm talking, So, but your IDE could be Visual Studio Code, it could be Visual Studio, you could use Notepad, even this simple Notepad. But Notepad does not give you so many. There are so many benefits. Like if you're using Visual Studio Code or Visual Studio, if there is any mistake in your code, it could highlight those things. But if you're using Notepad, it will not see those mistakes. If you're using, so that is you need to have your development environment. Like as I mentioned, Visual Studio Code or Visual Studio. If your computer is not powerful enough, then you might just go for Visual Studio Code and leave Visual Studio. Visual Studio is RAM demanding. So yeah, it's something. Or you could go for any other like if you want to learn Java, then there is Eclipse. Eclipse is the one that you can use for Java. Then there is other like Aptana and Bracket. There are so many, but you can always type and see the one that you like. For me personally, Visual Studio Code and Visual Studio, these are the two development environments I have. And if you are working with if you are learning Microsoft Stack, you might want to install their database as well. You have to install it in your. That's why I say you should have at least a powerful computer. If you can afford, buy a powerful computer. I have is it Xeon, and I have i7 Intel product. So my Xeon is a powerful computer. In fact, I specifically bought it because I want to be able to open so many Visual Studio Code, just like overtax the computer does not flinch because the RAM is like 64 gig and the hard disk is like 1 terabyte. So that's the kind of thing. But if you start working and you start earning money, you can start investing. But at least you should have something that will comfortably allow you to code properly with a peace of mind. My Visual Studio, my other computer, if I open so many Visual Studio, it will crash, it will hang. I experience it hangs and crashes. So you might want to install database as well. Like if you want to do PHP, then there is this. What is the stack? Is it LAMP? Is it Linux LAMP stack? So is it Linux something and MyDB and Python or something? I have forgotten the A. But if you want to do Python, then you have to. There are so many things. You have to download the XAMPP. The XAMPP has all the things you need to do Python. XAMPP, let me write it down. XAMPP, SAMP, if I'm not mistaken. So you can just type it. So it will install my PHP. My PHP admin that you can use to administer. Then it will install a database for you. It will install the server for you, so you can work with so that you can work with PHP. So that's another software you need. Like if you want to do JavaScript, then if you want to do JavaScript, React, Angular, you need to install Node.js on your computer. That will be your server, the thing that will be running your application if you want to test it. So that is all about development environment. Then your internet. Why I mentioned internet, if you live in a developed country like UK, Canada, US, internet is not really a problem. It doesn't really cost much, and pretty much everybody has internet in his house. So but if you live in Nigeria where you buy data, then it becomes a bit troubling. But what you can do is, if you have computer and you are comfortable with your computer, but you don't have internet, what you can do is you can print off. You can, if your books is in e-copy, you can print off your book. Then, or you can go to cyber cafe. And if, let's say, if I want to do Angular and I'm in Nigeria where there's no internet, so I will list all the packages, because the need of the internet is that there are packages you need to download in your computer for you to work effectively. So you can list out all those packages, run off to a cyber cafe and pay them, let's say 30 minutes. Within that 30 or even 20 minutes, you will download and install all the packages you need in your computer. Then you can pay them for that and then come back and start working. You don't necessarily need internet much if you have all the software in your computer. But there are some packages you need to download. If you're able to list out these packages and run off to the internet, oh, sorry, if you have a desktop, you might not really be able to go to. If you have a desktop, what you can do is that you can go and download those packages on a flash drive. I don't know if it will be possible. If you download them on the flash drive, then you can install them from that flash drive. So that's just the tricks you can do. But if a cyber cafe is near to your place, you can go. If you have the money and you want to learn this thing on your own, you can go pay them. And then if you pay them, you can stay there and learn this stuff. Once you get a job, you start earning money and you have generator, inverter and whatever. Or you can cut out and go to other clients where these services are provided. So internet is very important, especially if you are in a place where there is no, like, if you are not in the developed world. Then you have to figure out how to get at least some internet that you will use to download packages that you will need. If you are working with there are certain packages you need to download to work with. Then books. If you have enough money, you can buy books. You can buy ebooks. If you don't have money, you can hustle for books. We hustle for books online. You go to Google Hustle. You know, if I'm a photo guy with the hustle for materials. So you go online and hustle for materials. So there's no complaint. There's nothing like, okay, I don't have this, I don't have this. Except if you don't just have anything at all. You know, then I will talk about that as well. But books, you can buy books. If you have enough money, you can subscribe. In fact, you can even subscribe for training. In fact, if you are not the type of person that can learn on his own, like me personally, I learn on my own. It's a habit I developed since I was a kid. You know, learning stuff on my own. So I could easily learn complex stuff on my own. But if you need a support, somebody that will teach you constantly, then after watching this video, you could go to any of these institutes. Like in Nigeria, we have NINIT, and we have like things like IG Hub. My Facebook friend and photo colleague is running his IG Hub. You can go and pay and become part of the training. So you physically see somebody that will train you and all the rest. So it's very, some people don't learn on their own. So, but if you have the money, the resources, and you want to learn this, you can go register with all these training centers, and they will train you. You will meet somebody physically that will support you. So to summarize, in books, you can buy books. Like when you hustle for books online, or you could buy from Amazon, or you could subscribe. Like when I started earning enough money, I was able to subscribe to some of these things like Pact, Apple. You can subscribe 1 year. I paid, I think, 100 and something pounds for like 1 year, 6 months. So, but the benefit is that any books that come, I know about it and I read, and there's the video section as well that I watch. So that's how you can go about your books. Then we have the support website. Support website is where Google, if you have any problem and you want to find the answer, there's no point in calling somebody, please, what is this? No, Google is your friend. Everything you will need, every problem you will need to solve in software development any problem you will face in software development has already been solved. Most of the problems, and the answer is in Google. If you type on Google, you will see the solution. So I think the skill set you need to have is, how do I frame my problem in terms of a question? That's one of the things I learned earlier on when I started in this industry. I learned how to, like, if I have a problem, how do I write that problem in form of a question? and then put it in Google. Google will always bring a lot of answers, including the one I need. And mostly, apart from Google, there's also this website called Stack Overflow. Stack Overflow is a website where you go in, if you're a developer and you have any question, you can go into Stack Overflow and type the question, and all these other powerful developers in the world will try to solve your problem and give you a solution. So in fact, most of the searches you will do on Google will direct you to Stack Overflow. So Stack Overflow, Google is a place you find every solution to your problem. So the thing you will need to do is, in fact, let's say I want to learn another programming language. All I need to do is to ask Google, how do I know my C#. Let's say I want to learn, let's say Go. I've not done much work in Go programming. I could just use that Stack Overflow and Google and just write a complete full application on Go just by asking, how do I create a project? How do I create a class? How do I connect to a database in Go? How do I push my code to source control in Go? You see, that's the way but everything is there for you. So that is it. Then source control. Why am I mentioning source control? Like if you start out developing, I think the first thing you should need to know is how to push your code to source control. If you go to work, if you go to look for work, one of the requirements is do you know how to use source control? So it's something you must know how to do. And source control is like your GitHub. GitHub is the most popular source control. So you can open a free account there. So after this session, you just go there, open a free account. So all the assignment we'll be doing, we'll have to push it to GitHub. So GitHub is if your CV, you have to put your GitHub account on your CV, the link to your GitHub account on your CV, so that recruiters or employers could easily go to your GitHub account and see all the code. People might not really even call you for an interview. If they see your code and you write clean code, they will just give you a job. So that's why you need to know about source control. This is where you put all your codes in. So in summary, I have talked about 6 things you need to have to be able to learn software development effectively. I started with computer, the type of computer. If you have the money, buy powerful computers. Buy Xeon. You can buy fairly if you're in the UK, US, Canada. You can buy fairly Xeon, Intel, powerful. If you have enough bucks, you can buy the new one, Then at least 2 flat screen if you have the money and you have the resources and you want to go deep into this industry and make a career out of it. 2 flat screen. Then your development environment, personally, I use Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code. Then internet. I mentioned internet because of people that are back home that don't have access to internet. You can use cyber cafe. You can go and become a friend to a cyber cafe owner. Even if you don't have money, you can beg him to be taking care of things so that any little opportunity you have, use it to do your programming. Then books, then support website and source controls. I think that brings us, I don't want this video to go too long. So thank you very much.